Michael McDonald's silky voice became the defining sound that took the Doobie Brothers from their rough and ready rock roots to smooth, radio-friendly fame. But the transition wasn't simple, and it quietly reshaped the band in ways few noticed at first. Before the Grammy wins and chart-topping singles, McDonald was just a hard-working session musician, playing keyboards and harmonies behind other stars. Born in St. Louis, he had grown up performing in local gigs, honing a voice that blended soul and gospel influences. His early years in Los Angeles introduced him to the discipline of touring and studio work with acts like Steely Dan, yet stardom remained elusive. It was a fateful illness in 1975 that changed everything, giving him a moment to step into the spotlight and forever alter the Doobie Brothers' trajectory. Stepping in, the band faced a sudden crisis when frontman Tom Johnston collapsed mid-tour due to a severe ulcer. With sold-out venues and commitments looming, the Doobie Brothers needed someone to fill in quickly. McDonald, at the time a background player, was asked to step up. Initially, it was a temporary measure, meant only to keep the shows on schedule. Yet, McDonald's soulful, gospel-infused tone struck a chord with audiences, reshaping the band's sound almost overnight. The record label recognized the potential and began encouraging this new direction. What started as a brief stand-in role evolved into McDonald writing lead singles like Taking It to the Streets and Minute by Minute, which would not only top charts but redefine the band's identity, pushing it toward a softer, more polished style that resonated with mainstream audiences, shifting the band's identity. As McDonald became more central, the Doobie Brothers' sound started to shift from its blues rock roots to a smoother, more melodic approach. Johnston, the founding voice of the group, found himself sidelined, no longer at the center of songwriting or creative direction. The transition was subtle at first, but the momentum favored McDonald's voice and style. The label's push for more soulful, radio-ready material further amplified the change, and the band's internal dynamic quietly transformed. While McDonald never sought to dominate, his talent and the timing of his rise naturally positioned him at the forefront. Members who had once thrived on jam sessions and gritty riffs began to feel their creative influence diminished, and the Doobie Brothers were evolving into something they had never intended to become. The pressure of success. The new sound brought undeniable commercial success, with multi-platinum albums and Grammy recognition. Yet, behind the accolades, tension simmered. Longtime members like Jeff "Skunk" Baxter and John Hartman began to feel alienated as studio sessions became increasingly structured, and McDonald's meticulous approach dominated production. Songs were carefully arranged and layered, leaving less room for spontaneous collaboration. Touring was no longer just about the collective energy of the band. It became a platform for McDonald's signature sound. The contrast between the early, raw Doobie Brothers and this polished era created subtle friction. While the industry celebrated the transformation, the band's internal balance had shifted. The sound was evolving, but so were the relationships, and those old connections were quietly fraying. Legal and financial shifts. Alongside musical changes, the business side of the band underwent transformation. Contracts, publishing rights, and royalties began to reflect McDonald's growing role. He was no longer a temporary replacement. He earned co-writing credits, production influence, and creative control. As McDonald's name appeared on more songs, founding members noticed a shift in royalty distribution. These changes weren't about rivalry, but reflected the natural evolution of the band's commercial success. It was a reminder that in the music industry, legal frameworks often shape influence as much as talent does. Members who had once shared equal footing now saw their roles gradually narrowed. McDonald's rise was organic, a combination of timing, skill, and opportunity, yet it inevitably changed the band's structure in ways that were impossible to ignore. Creative fractures. By the time of the minute-by-minute sessions, it was clear that the band's identity had evolved. McDonald's approach favored precision and layered arrangements over live spontaneity, which contrasted with the free-flowing dynamic of earlier albums. Some members felt as if their contributions were secondary, more like supporting notes than central voices. Studio sessions were professional, but the sense of communal creativity had shifted. Collaboration became more about fitting into McDonald's vision than shared experimentation. While success continued, the energy that had defined the early Doobie Brothers was replaced with a calculated, studio-focused professionalism. These changes weren't about conflict. They reflected a natural evolution. Still, they left long-time members adjusting to a dynamic where their input mattered less than before, highlighting the delicate balance between talent, leadership, and collective identity. Tensions come to the surface. Even with outward success, subtle tensions eventually surfaced. By 1980, during a tour stop in Cincinnati, disagreements over creative decisions led to a heated confrontation between McDonald and drummer John Hartman. Hartman felt the band had shifted into a platform for McDonald's style, a reflection of the broader internal adjustments that had been building for years. While no dramatic public fallout occurred, the moment marked a turning point. Hartman left the tour, signaling a recognition that the band's original chemistry had changed. McDonald, reserved by nature, did not push back aggressively, but understood the growing divide. From that night on, the Doobie Brothers operated with a dual identity, a successful band publicly, but internally, a collection of members navigating a changing hierarchy and evolving creative vision. McDonald's quiet departure. By 1981, the pressures of carrying much of the band's creative weight began to take their toll on McDonald. Despite commercial success, he longed for a chance to explore music without the expectation of steering an entire band. He approached the group quietly about taking a step back, hoping to allow the Doobies to rediscover their roots. Yet, the label, having embraced McDonald's voice as the band's defining brand, expected more of the same style. McDonald began experimenting with solo projects, testing his independence while remaining mindful of the group that had given him a platform. His departure was understated, a simple decision rather than a dramatic exit. It marked the end of his era in the band, a natural conclusion to a chapter defined by both opportunity and unintended consequences, legacy and reflection. In the decades since, the Doobie Brothers have reunited for tours, awards, and nostalgic performances. McDonald occasionally joins them on stage, his voice aged but still recognizable, giving fans a sense of continuity. Behind the scenes, however, relationships are nuanced. While public appearances suggest harmony, past tensions linger quietly. Interviews reveal veiled reflections from other members, emphasizing the band's original rock identity while acknowledging McDonald's transformative influence. For McDonald himself, revisiting the past has been a mix of pride and contemplation. In recent interviews, he admits he never intended to redefine the band, but recognizes the inevitability of his role. His story is one of chance, talent, and adaptation, illustrating how even temporary opportunities can leave lasting marks on people and music alike. Redefining success. Michael McDonald's journey with the Doobie Brothers was never about dominance or conflict. It was about being the right voice at the right time. His presence elevated the band to new commercial heights, brought smooth sophistication to their sound, and left a lasting imprint on popular music. At the same time, it challenged the band's original chemistry, creating moments of adjustment and reflection. Looking back, McDonald's era is celebrated and debated, a testament to the complexity of collaboration and transformation. He didn't seek to overwrite a legacy. He simply brought his gifts forward, allowing the band to flourish in unexpected ways. The story reminds us that artistic evolution often comes with compromises, choices, and quiet negotiations behind the music we love. A voice that lasts. McDonald didn't just join the Doobie Brothers, he altered their course, reshaping their sound and broadening their audience. His voice became the signature of an era, admired for its soulfulness and precision. Though his time with the band came with challenges, both personal and professional, it cemented his place in music history. The Doobie Brothers evolved, McDonald evolved, and their collective legacy became richer for the changes. His story is a gentle reminder that some of the most transformative moments in life arise from unexpected circumstances. And that influence isn't always forceful. It can emerge from being authentically skilled at exactly the right moment. For fans and musicians alike, McDonald's journey offers insight into talent, timing, and the subtle complexity of collaboration,